What I want to talk about here is how to properly mount the feet. And we're going to do one end at a time. First off, let's take a look at the rear foot. It's been dovetailed in, and those are real nice dovetails. And then a cut has been made here. The way that cut was determined was we took the combination square, laid it down like this, drew a pencil line, and then band sawed up to that point right there. So that's what the inside of that foot looks like. We intentionally leave this last little bit that will be sawed later. The purpose of leaving that is that when we flip it over and put it in place, we'll have a way to clamp it. So that's why that's left there. When we're done, we can take our handsaw and cut that off. To fit these, I've got them on a set of bench horses to keep it stable. And I take the pin nailer with 1/2-inch nails in there, headless. I just hold it up there and shoot a nail in. And if I hold it close enough, I don't have to clip it. But I have 4 of these guys here. And the purpose of those little nails is to keep the foot from sliding when I put it down. Now, we have a line here which is the hard edge of the joint. I actually took this foot to the joiner and jointed it so I get a nice clean line. And then where that line hit, I transferred it over to a pencil mark to there, and I transferred a pencil mark to here. Okay, and that line, those lines indicate, I'm thinking how to show you this. Those lines indicate where that straight mark is. That pencil line indicates where the straight line goes. And I'm going to flip it over and set it on top. And there you can see those nails shot in, ready to go in place. So what I'm going to do here is take those 2 lines, line them up with the edge of the face frame, or the edge of the base, line up my miter, and then press them in. And by doing that, I lock the whole thing together. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put a couple clamps on here so I can illustrate a few points. Alright, so my miter's good right here. This line flows back nicely and intersects with the pencil line. But if I look over here, I've got a flat spot. I want to take that line off. So I'm going to get my ruler that has the sandpaper on the back. I'm just going to sand this back. I'm going to roll this back, feathering it till I go right into that line. So that when I set it on here, I don't have that flat spot anymore. It comes all the way back to where it's supposed to. Alright, I want to flip that over, and just to reinforce what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to put a hard pencil line that shows me where I have to be. Now, I've already fitted the rear foot, so it drops on there as well. I've got nails in there. The whole thing can't slide. You see it's locked in place. And one thing is, if I've done this right and drop a ruler down, these guys should more or less be in line with each other. If these are in line with each other, and these were cut from the same piece, which they are, this outside should flow one into the other without any kind of a bump. So these pieces are good to go. I'm going to mark this back one the same way. Alright, so I've got my marks, I've got my nails in there, and this shows me where I need to go. Okay, to glue this down, I've cut a piece of plywood a little bit bigger than I need down here. The plywood is basically overhanging the frame everywhere. I'm just going to clamp it in place with a couple of screws, with a couple of hand spring clamps, and that will allow me to put a clamp on here and glue everything down. So I've got my glue bottle. I'm just going to do the first one, put a little bit of glue down. Don't go nuts, because we're going to be putting a glue block on here to reinforce it. We've got a little bit of glue on there. I'm going to press it in place. Make sure I get a little bit of squeeze out everywhere. I don't want much squeeze out on the outside. That's going to be difficult to get rid of. Alright? So just that one. I take it off and I can see I've got decent squeeze out everywhere. I've got a little residue from that original pencil line that I put down. Let me get rid of that real quick. Okay, that's good. I'm going to put this down with a little bit of glue. That's good. I'm going to repeat the process with the back foot. Keep bumping those nails. Put the back foot down. And ideally these 2 feet should be touching each other. Alright, so these guys are down. That's nice and tight. A little bit more glue in the front, just a little bit. Foot goes back down in place. And the purpose of that lower piece of plywood is to give myself something to clamp. So, to clamp this, I'm going to use a few bridges. So, here's a piece that goes down. I'm going to fulcrum off of that. So I'll go ahead and put a clamp on it. And I'm getting some nice squeeze out on the inside. Coming across here. I'm going to take this little bridge and straddle both of these. Alright, both of these. You can see how that clamp brought that one up. And clamp here. That's where the nails come in handy. And clamp here. Checking out here, making sure it looks good. Get a little bit of squeeze out there. That guy looks good. I'm checking out here as well. I'm going to put a clamp out on the corner. So I've got a little bead of squeeze out all on the outside edge. Or inside edge, I have a little bit on the outside too. I'm just working my way around. Pop this guy on here, and this is the purpose of why you still have that piece on there. It allows you to clamp. It applies a little bit of pressure, so that's pushing down there. Getting a little squeeze out on the outside. Yeah. Try one more clamp here. Alright. And bring this one down. And here I've got a little bit of squeeze out all across the inside. I've got squeeze out here. I wish I had more in here. But if you look at this side, you see this squeeze out? Yeah. This is probably better suited for what we're looking for. I'm not going to rip that block off and say, oh my gosh, there's no squeeze out, because I know I'm putting glue blocks in to reinforce it. But these pieces are in line. That looks good. I have a little squeeze out on the outside. And then when this dries a little bit, I'll repeat the process on the other end.